Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. I'm in part 5 of my comments on Mark chapter 8, verses 10 to 21. I hope that I'm picking up different verses and expounding on them. I hope that we can have a Bible study together, seated across the table from each other with our Bibles open. Um, and I'll share my interpretation with you. You make comments on what I say. Please feel free to share your interpretation with all of us. So let's begin in verses 13 to 18 of that Mark 8. And he left them and entering into the ship again departed on the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them any more than one loaf. And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have no bread. And when Jesus knew it, he saith unto them, Why reason ye because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand? Have ye your heart yet hardened? Having eyes, see ye not? Having ears, hear ye not? And do you not remember? Now, it's important to understand that leaven in the Bible is not likened to a good thing. There is the feast of unleavened bread in Exodus 12, 19, and 20. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. You shall eat nothing leavened in all your habitations, shall you eat unleavened bread. To cut off means to perish or die. Examples are Amos 1:8 and Zechariah 13:8. Okay, leaven is a type of corruption. Leviticus 10:12. And Moses spake unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left. Take the meat offering that remaineth of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. So unlike what most religious traditions proclaim, the woman in the following verse, who may be the false goddess Ishtar, Ashtoreth, Diana, Isis, or any number of feminine manifestations of Satan, is not enriching or making perfect what may very well be Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodoxy, and Protestantism, but is responsible for polluting all three. Matthew 13:33. Another parable spake ye unto them, The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. The doctrine or leaven of these Christian churches is no better than the leaven of the Pharisees, Matthew 16:12. Then understood they how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. This is the natural outcome of following the heresy of the three main branches of Christianity is apparent. Luke 18:8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? The scriptures tell us of a great falling away at the end of history. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. To fall away is to betray Christ, to join the enemy. Read Jeremiah 37:13 for a definition of falling away. The lukewarm church of the end times, the Laodicean church, from Lao, the people, Dike, judge, or the people's rights, the human rights church, not God's rights, is rejected by God. I would recommend reading Revelation 3:14 to 22 to see the sorry state of that age of the church. The many progressive movements in the United States in the 18th century, 19th century were essentially Christian based, founded by die-hard postmillennial and evangelical Christians. By placing government in the place of God and civil law in the place of moral courage, these pious Christians who meant well eventually consigned their spiritual offering to unbelief and faithlessness. Government, whom they could see, became the God whom they could not see previously. The destruction of the biblical view of Christians in America and the authority of the scriptures was abandoned. Neo orthodoxy and eventually neo evangelicalism reduced the Bible to a quaint mythology whose authority was based on original manuscripts that no one on earth had seen for thousands of years. The doctrine of the scriptures, quote, given by inspiration, as the Bible states, was reduced to the original manuscripts only being inspired. And finally, the error of calling them God breathed in defiance of Jeremiah chapter 36, Job 32:8, and 2 Peter 3:15. As a former president said in a speech he made in 2006 called A Call to Renewal. He lamented for his party the abandonment of his or her religious faith. He thought it was ironic considering that liberal political ideas were rooted originally in Christian beliefs and voiced by evangelical Christians in the 1800s. To the American Christian, Government became God's agent on earth and eventually took God's place. Postmillennial belief that mankind would create God's perfect kingdom on earth by legislating it into existence led to disbelief and apostasy, and the eventual disappointment of World War I led to a new kind of Christianity, not moored to the Bible at all, but geared to a rewriting of it without God's hand in it. As one example, a mentor of President Woodrow Wilson, Richard Ely of Johns Hopkins University, said it most clearly, and I'm quoting. This is written in the Independent Review, a journal of political economy, in the fall of 2010. It's an article, and this is the quote from Richard Ely. Now, it may be rationally be maintained that if there's anything divine on earth, it is the state, the product of the same God-given instincts which led to the establishment of the church and of the family. It was once held that kings rule by right divine, and any widely accepted belief, though it be afterwards discredited, there is generally found a kernel of truth. In this case, it was the divine right of the state. That's why we're where we're at. A hardened heart has to do with understanding or being willing to understand what God is showing you or teaching you. A hardened heart keeps you from hearing what is being said. Exodus 7:13. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart that he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. Now in verse 17 of the passage I just read earlier, it's clear in Mark, it's clear that a hardened heart keeps you from understanding what is obvious. A hardened heart keeps you from doing what you should do. And then in verse 14 of Exodus 7, Lord goes on to say, the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. The consequences of a hardened heart become worse and worse sin. Read Romans 1:16 to 32. Now we're going to stop there, and I'm going to pick it up in verse 19 next. So I'm asking you to set aside some time today to read your Bible, to study your Bible, praying to God for wisdom and understanding, and to open the Bible and let God speak to you through his word, and then share your interpretation with someone else. Um, you can purchase my comments on Amazon, and I hope you do. You can read them for free on blogger.com. But if you watched this video this far, would you please click like and subscribe or follow? And I would encourage you to feel free to make whatever comments you'd like to make. The only thing I object to is snarky comments or trolling. You know what that is. But a sincere comment is definitely welcome. And I hope you have a great day.